Hello! Kamusta naman po ang ating mga master teachers dyan na abalang-abala na sa paghahanda ng kanilang mga MOVs para sa pag-accomplish ng kanilang IPCR form? Ano-ano nga ba ang mga MOVs na dapat ihanda ni master teacher para sa kanyang IPCR 2020? Ayan, before we start gathering all the MOVs and finalizing them, first step po na dapat natin gawin ay ang mag-print muna ng hard copy ng ISAT. So, dun muna po tayo sasagot. Accomplish muna natin lahat ng forms ng ISAT para dun po tayo kokopya ng isasagot natin dun sa electronic self-assessment tool. At ganun din po kapag tayo ay nag-encode na sa ating electronic IPCR form. So, ang ISAT po ay may 4 parts. Okay, ang first part po is about the demographic profile. Second part is about the objectives. Third part is about the core behavioral competencies. And the fourth part is about the development plans. Okay, part 1, demographic profile, we are just going to answer all the questions about ourselves. So, sasagutan lang po natin yan and we're done. Okay, part 2 is all about the objectives of the IPCR. So, yan na po yung 13 objectives under the 5 KRAs from content, knowledge, and pedagogy up to the plus factor. So, medyo nagkagulo po din sa pagsasagot dito kasi meron po tayong dalawang columns under the objectives part. Okay, so on the left side po, we have the level of capability. In terms of this objective, nasa na po ang ating capability dyan? For example, literacy and numeracy. So, low na ba tayo dyan? Moderate, high, or very high? So, kung tayo ay high na dyan, we just shade yung circle sa tapat ng high. And then, doon naman po sa right side na column, we have the priority for development. Since high ka na doon sa objective na yon, so pina-prioritize mo pa ba siya to enhance your capability on this objective more? Or low na ang level of priority mo dyan kasi magpo-focus ka na doon sa objective na mas mababa ang rating mo. For example, integration of content knowledge within and across curriculum teaching areas. So, ganun po natin sinasagutan yung level of capability and priority for development. Okay, next is the part 3. It's about the core behavioral competencies nating mga teacher. So, tayo po yung nakakakilala better sa ating sarili. So, ano-ano yung competency natin in terms of self-management, professionalism and ethics, results focus, teamwork, service orientation, and innovation. Okay, after we have answered part 1, 2, and 3, we now move on to the part 4 of the ESAT, which is the development plans. Okay, under the development plans, we have A and B on the left side of the column. So, under the A po, isusulat natin dyan yung result ng part 2, which is the objectives. And under the column B naman, yung result ng part 3, which is the core behavioral competencies. So, yung pinaka-leftmost column po, yan po yung strength natin. Lahat ng strengths po na lumabas under part 2 and part 3, dun po natin isusulat sa left side. Next column po is the development needs. Ito po yung weaknesses natin na lumabas dun sa part 2 and part 3 ng ating form. And then we have the middle column. Ito naman po yung action plan or the interventions that we plan to do to address our needs or our strength. So, if we want to be better on our strength, okay? Kung high lang tayo, gusto nating maging very high yung accomplishment natin or capability dun sa objective na yon, pwede po tayong mag-develop ng intervention plan for that. Or, kung gusto nating i-develop more yung ating weakness, we also plan an intervention to address that need. And then we have the timeline. When do we start and until when? And what are the resources needed to achieve those plans. Okay? So, pwede pong, for example, ngayon, so, bawal tayong umattend ng mga seminars, more on webinars. So, maybe we'll be needing the internet connection para makapag-YouTube, makapag-research, or maybe we don't need seminars or trainings anymore. All we need is mentoring and coaching. So, pwede naman po yun. So, those are the 4 parts of the ESAT. After we have accomplished the ESAT, now we move on to the objectives, the 13 objectives of the IPCR. So, unahin po natin yung objectives number 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Bakit kaya sila sama-sama? Okay, because these 5 objectives are the objectives that need our COT and DLL. So, ito po yung mga objectives na i-highlight natin doon sa ating DLL na observable po doon sa ating classroom observation tool. Makikita po yan doon sa ating observation tool. So for example, objective number 1, we are going to highlight the integration of knowledge, of content knowledge within and across subject areas. So in this example, I have highlighted this in color pink. And then we move on to the next objective, which is objective number 3. Okay, as you notice, I have highlighted it with something in the family of color green. So just look for the different strategies that develop critical and creative thinking and or other hats. So pwede pong creative thinking or pwede naman hats questions. So and then we move on to objective number 4. Highlight it again with different color of highlighter. Okay, look for the effective classroom management strategies that engage learners in activities or tasks in different physical learning environment. So, ang tinitingnan po natin dito is how the teacher utilize the different activities by using the learning environment effectively. For example po niyan, yung mga sitting arrangement, how do we arrange the learner? Okay, kapag nag-groupings po tayo, where do we assign them to go? So, paano po natin utilize yung learning environment para mas lalong maging effective yung mga tasks and activities natin that are designed for the different intelligence of our students. Okay, next we have objective number 7. Okay, again, highlight it with different color of highlighter. Highlight the developmentally sequenced teaching and learning process. So this pertains to the learning activities that we design from letter A to letter J of our DLL. So dapat po developmentally sequenced yun. Kaya nga po, di ba, meron muna tayong review, or meron tayong presentation of the lesson, meron tayong diagnostic test muna before we finally move on to the evaluation part. So, developmentally sequence po yung teaching and learning process para yung mga students ladderize po yung learning development nila. Hindi po yung hindi sila nabibigla dun sa lesson and dun sa competency natin. Okay, so ito po yung 5 objectives na observable sa ating DLL na i-highlight natin. Okay, next we move on to objectives number 6 and 9. For objective number 6 naman po, we are asked to provide 2 MOVs. Okay, one is a DLL from any of the quarter. So, alin man po dun sa classroom observation na ginawa natin, pwede po tayong mamili ng isang DLL. What are we going to do with the DLL is to highlight the strategies on differentiated and developmentally appropriate opportunities to address learners' differences. Okay, kanina po, may kinalaman sa learning environment. Paano natin utilize yung learning environment para maging effective yung teaching strategies natin. Ngayon naman po, ito naman po yung mga teaching strategies for differentiated activities po to cater the multiple intelligences of the learners. Okay, and then after we have highlighted that in our DLL, attach one acceptable MOV. So it can be minutes of alak, highlighting one sharing strategies on differentiated activities. Si master teacher po ay nag-share ng different strategies na pwedeng may-utilize, magamit ng mga teachers 1 to 3 in developing differentiated and developmentally appropriate teaching strategies for their learners. Okay, or, di ba po, DLL, nag-CO tayo, we can make use of the instructional materials na ginamit na po natin doon sa ating classroom observation. Just highlight the differentiated activities that you use there. Okay, and then others, we have testimonials and write-up. For example po, you have a quote teacher, nag-PM sa'yo, nag-thank you kasi sobrang natulungan siya doon sa shinare mo na strategies. Okay, naitawid niya yung kanyang activities for the classroom observation. Or yung iba po dyan, may pa-note, very sweet, may pa-note, nag-left ng mga notes sa ating desk. Yan, photocopy lang po natin yon. Those are already form of an MOV for objective number 6. Then we have objective number 9. Okay, we are asked to provide 4 MOVs naman. 4 MOVs lang po kahit hindi siya iba-iba, kahit magkakatulad. So, kung nakapag-observe po tayo ng 4 teachers, okay, so yung 4 DLLs po nila, na na-critic natin on their alignment to learning competency. So, may signature po tayo dun at the back, at the end of their DLL. Pwede na po yun, kahit DLL lahat, basta 4 po. Kung hindi naman po tayo naka-4 observations because of some circumstances, we can make use of the teaching and learning resources developed by our co-teacher na na-check din po natin for the alignment of the learning competency. For example po, activity sheets, worksheets, module, and other supplemental learning resources. Okay, kaya importante po na dapat may corroboration po tayo palagi dun sa mga ginagawa natin sa department. Okay. Next po, ayan, ano naman kaya yung meron sa objective number 2, 8, and 10? Ayan. Objective number 2, medyo madugo po ito. We are asked to provide 4 MOVs focusing on enriching knowledge of content and pedagogy. So, ang kailangan po natin dito, copy of research proposal. Kung dyan lang po tayo umabot, hindi talaga natin nakandak yung study natin. So, at least meron tayong 1 point. Yan, nakarating tayo dun sa proposal. Okay, or proof of participation and or contribution. May nag-conduct po ng study, hindi talaga tayo ang nag-conduct ng study, but we have a participation in that study or we contributed something for that study, so pwede po yun. So kung meron po tayong email asking for our permission or terms of reference, output submitted, yan, in-interview po tayo, nag-PM sa atin, ayan, so pwede po yun, proof. Okay, certified completed research if we really conducted the research and we have completed it. Proof of dissemination of findings and proof of utilization if the findings and results are already being utilized. And then others po, example, certificate. So, those certificate that we receive, just annotate those. Okay, those are already acceptable MOVs. Next, we have objective number 8. Again, we are asked to provide 4 MOVs, 4 LAC sessions, different LAC sessions focusing on enriching teaching practice. So, implemented LAC or FGD plan, ang proponent po ay si master teacher. Minutes of LAC or FGD with proof of attendance, dapat po different LAC sessions. So, again, 4 different LAC sessions. And then, for objective number 10, 4 MOVs din po ang hinihingi sa atin. Take note, this is a collaborative review. So, for example po, you have 4 periodic tests with TOS from quarter 1 to quarter 4. So, pwede na po yun, 4 na periodic test. Or kung hindi naman naka-4, We can make use of the pre-test and the post-test with POS or DLL with formative test attached. So, lahat naman po yun from letter A to letter J, yun po ay formative test. Okay, so kaya importante po ng ating DLL during the COT ay dapat po ay kompleto detailed po siya. Yan, para i-highlight na lang po natin. And then, any diagnostic test with TOS po, either summative or formative test. Okay, so, those are for objectives 2, 8, and 10. Now, we move on to objectives number 11 and 12. For objective number 11 po, we are asked to provide 2 different MOVs. Different po, magkaiba. Hindi pwede po ang duplication. And take note again, this is a collaborative work. So we are promoting and pushing the 21st century skills, which is collaboration. Kaya more on collaborative review and work na po tayo. So first, we have the index of mastery obtained from one class. So just choose any of the classroom observation DLL that you use. Okay, so, ma'am, hindi naman po collaborative yun. Collaborative po yun, pinirmahan yung narrator at saka ni observer. Di po ba? So, after po ng demonstration natin, teaching classroom observation natin, just input the result of the evaluation test dun po at the back of the DLL. Yung may letter A, letter B po doon, nakalagay na 8. How many of the learners got 80%? How many did not meet the 80%? So, yan, input lang po natin yung result na yun. Yun po yung index of mastery. And then we have the periodic test interpretation item analysis. Ayan, so yung nag-item analysis naman po talaga tayo, nag-frequency of errors tayo after every periodic test. Ayan. Next po is the interpretation of results of performance assessment. Okay, so meron tayong rubric, in-interpret natin yung result ng performance assessment ng ating estudyante. Ayan, kung kamusta yung na-meet niya ba yung requirement, hindi niya ba na-meet yung requirement. So, based on the result, kailangan ba nating i-reteach yung skill kasi performance yun. Ayan, so yun po yung mga interpretation of results. Okay, so for objective number 12 naman po, we are asked to provide again 4 MOVs that focus on needs, progress, and achievement. So this is more on communicating the needs, progress, and achievement of the learners to parents. So ang nangyayari po kasi lagi, kino-communicate lang natin ng parent kapag yung bata na guidance. Ma'am, punta po kayo sa school kasi yung anak niya na guidance. Pero hindi po ba napakainam kung ang i-communicate natin sa parents is yung progress and yung achievement ng ating mga learner. So, ito po yung mga example acceptable MOVs. Okay, we have here the MOA with parents of learner at risk. Kung meron po tayong mga learner with difficulty in our subject or learners who are not passing their outputs, who are always absent from the class, okay, we can call the parents, and if we have documented that, so yun po ay halimbawa pinasulat natin ng promissory note na sa third grading po, magpapasa na ako ng lahat ng output, nakasign si parent at si learner. So, yun po, pwede na po yun as form of MOA. Ayan, record of parent-teacher conference, hindi po kailangan maging advisor para magkaroon ng conference with the parent. If we have a student who has difficulty with our subject, we can call the attention of the parent and we can have conference with the parent. Or hindi lang po difficulty, even kung may achievement po or meron pong progress na kapansin-pansin, di ba? So, we can call the attention of the parents and tell the parent or the guardian the good news. Okay, so record lang po natin yan, document natin. So, yan po ay MOV na. Anecdotal record po, yan. Usually, ito po ay ginagawa ng mga advisor and then tinaturn over po sa guidance for the use of the next advisor naman ng mga bata. Ayan, anecdotal record. May template po yan. These test results signed by parents. So, napakadali lang po nito. What are we going to do is to make a summary of all the quizzes or the written works of one student. Just choose one student po and then summarize all his or her quizzes and or written reports, and then may signature po ni parent. So, yun na po yun. And then, accomplish rubric, yung mga ginamit po natin sa ating performance task. So, kuha lang po tayo ng isa. Isa lang po na accomplish rubric. Yung may rating na po natin. Okay, so, MOB na po yun. PTA meeting minutes and attendance po para sa mga advisor, as well as yung report card po. Correspondence po with parents. Nag-email tayo, nag-text, kaya nag-send ng letter, kaya may conversation tayo sa messenger, okay? Nire-relay po natin sa parents yung needs or yung progress or achievement ng learner. So, screenshot lang po natin yun and then print. Yan, that's an MOV na po. Learner's Performance Record. Ano daw po ba itong Learner's Performance Record? Kung advisor ka po, pasok dyan yung rank list of honors, achievers, uliran, dangal. Kung hindi naman po, rating sheets, achievement po yan ng progress or needs ng ating mga learner. Reflected po lahat-lahat dyan. Yan, yung oral, sa periodic test, di ba? Sa quizzes, lahat na po nandiyan na sa rating sheets. Okay? Or yung GSA po. Ayan. Yung mga panalo po ng ating mga estudyante sa competition. Ayan. Performance po yan ng ating mga learners, progress, and achievement. Okay, so napakarami po niyang MOV na yan. We will only choose 4. And then, the last but not the least, finally, we're on the plus factor, and we are asked to provide 4 different MOVs. 4 lang po na magkakaiba na MOVs, and napakarami po naman ng pagpipilian. So, very impossible na hindi po tayo maka-4, di ba? Class reliever po, in case na absence yung isang teacher, tayo po ang nag-took over ng class. So, just ask for a certification from your head teacher that you were the class reliever. Certificate of participation, committee involvement, kahit po member lang kayo ng committee as long as may certificate, representative of principal in meetings, 1 CO rating po ng teacher po na na-observe natin, OIC in the absence of principal, certificate of training, recognition, speakership, advisor of co-curricular activity, yung ating mga club advisor, yung ating mga advisor ng publication, authorship, contributor ka, yan, yung may mga na-publish po dyan, yung may mga pictures po doon sa Apo Reef and sa Punyal, and contributor po kayo, yan. Coaching and mentoring in competitions, yan, may mga certificate po tayo na nag-coach tayo, nag-train tayo, yan, ng mga learners. Assist to and hiring or promoting teachers, yan, yung mga umupo po during the demo teaching of the new applicant teachers. Ayan, mentoring po in pre and in service. So, ang mga master teachers po talaga ay dapat nagme-mentoring and nagko-coaching. So, just choose 4 among all of these MOVs po, and we're good to go na. So, those are the MOVs that the master teacher should prepare in accomplishing his or her IPCR. So, good luck and God bless po sa ating mga master teachers.